This was the strangest ghost story I ever encountered in my years dealing with the paranormal. Some say it's a story that proves true love knows no end. But to understand how it happened, we must first go back to the time of the American Revolution. You may have heard of it. There was a war, and people weren't suckers for a British accent like they are today. In those days, John Davenport, a prosperous merchant, lived on his estate, Davenport House, on Long Island, New York. Davenport is entertaining two guests, Joseph Stansbury and General Benedict Arnold. Yes, the Benedict Arnold. I know what you're thinking, but hold on. His infamous act of treason hasn't yet been discovered, but it's about to. It's the evening of September 23rd, 1780. As Davenport's butler, my ancestor, Caleb Williams, and Katie O'Hara, Davenport's housemaid, were busy in the kitchen as the dinner hour approached. At rise, Katie O'Hara is busy cooking dinner. Caleb Williams enters. Caleb is an unscrupulous man. He looks the part. Joy does not register on his face. He prepares drinks for the dinner guests. I informed Master Davenport and his guests you're serving stewed pigeon for dinner. Again. Oh, you should have seen the look on their faces. I can honestly say never have I seen men so desperately looking forward to a finer meal, if you catch my meaning. How are dinner preparations coming along?
Well, there's the skinning and the butchering, and then there's the picking up the feathers from all over the place, because it turns out pigeons are highly uncooperative. Caleb Williams! Nipping at the master's whiskey again, are we?
No, I was merely making sure it's still fresh. Best of used by or before March 31st. Speaking of good things that can go horribly bad, have you considered my marriage proposal?
Here we go again.
Look, I've enough now to pay off your debt to Master Davenport. Think of it. You wouldn't be Katie O'Hara, the indentured servant, anymore. You'd be Madam Caleb Williams, my wife.
What that lacks in appeal, it more than makes up for in humiliation.
Then you'll say yes? Nod your head. Blink twice. How about it, Madam Williams? How do you go without blinking like that for so long? So, you're yet in love with that mule brain, be-slubbering, nivvy-nanny lump what calls himself a tinker. That fuck-doodling, twiddle-diddling galumpus! That driggle-draggled, wiffle-waffle, scabalacha!
You mean Rufus?
Ah!
Aye, I know, right? Arg! Oh, just thinking of him gets me so hot and buttered. Saints preserve me! Rufus is the most wonderful man and masterful tinker in all the colonies, and I love him so. 'Tis a wise old saying back in Killarney.
Katie slinks downstage over melodramatically, like Norma Desmond approaching the camera in the final scene of Sunset Boulevard.
A bonny fright, Brett Kavanaugh, Enya.
What does that mean in, I don't know, let's be crazy, English?
Look, Rufus is coming up the footpath.
What a strange and peculiar old Irish saying.
No, I'm telling you, I see Rufus, and he's coming up the footpath.
Oh, look at him lumbering up the footpath with all the grace of a baby elephant. Does Doofus know to keep his horse and belongings in the barn during his visit?
Rufus Caleb, his name's Rufus, and yes, he's familiar with the barn.
Good, I just wanted to make sure he has some place he feels at home. Keep to the briefest of salutations in exchange of news, because your working hours don't end until, well, you're an indentured servant, so they don't end for another 6 years. I must attend to the master and his guests. Upon my return, I'd better not find your roly-poly Romeo row-meowing through the kitchen, or through you.
May the road rise up and hit you in your ass.
Rufus Digby is an amiable, simple-minded man. He enters downstage, speaking to an off-stage persona, a potential customer. Yes, good sir, I am a master tinker, a mender of pots and pans. No repair too small, no pan I can't handle. If you or a loved one have been a victim of crackpot, you may be entitled to a reparation. Reasonable rates, depending on how big your crack is. I'd have to see it. Dow! The size of your crack is impressive, beyond measure. If only you had gotten to me while there was still hope. I'll send flowers. But right now, I must excuse myself. Katie! Am I glad to see you? Especially after what I just saw.
Rufus! I haven't seen you in a fortnight.
Katie, I don't like when we're parted. Not for a fortnight, not even for a fortminute. 1,000 longings burned in my heart all the way here. For I long to see you, for I long to hold you. And 998 other furlongs. I raced here as fast as my faithful horse Ricola could take me. I rode on hither and thither. Luckily I hit less traffic on thither. How goes all by you, my sweet?
Everything's grand, me love. 'Tis the usual Saturday. Well, that's to say, Caleb's up to his usual shenanigans. He was just here making fun of you behind your back.
Caleb! He upstoops so low. One of these days I'm going to let him have it and tell him how little I think of him. I'm waiting to tell him until I have more little to think, but then I'll give it to that miscreant. Pardon my old English.
So now I'm preparing a stewed pigeon dinner for Master Davenport and his guests. I thought I smelled foul. I thought it was just me. Pray, who is Master Davenport entertaining tonight? 'Tis Joseph Stansbury and Benedict Arnold who've come for a visit. They were here last week, too, and the week before that, and before that. They've been coming here for months. They're suckers for me stewed pigeon. And I think they're planning to give General Washington a big surprise.
Katie, I have a big surprise from General Washington. Look! Rufus produces a letter out of his pocket. I have a personal letter of recommendation written by George Washington himself. Read it.
The General shows his grand wisdom in praising you. 'Tis a wise old saying back in Killarney.
Can it go without saying? Please, can it go without saying? Katie slinks downstage over melodramatically again. Oh, I guess not.
Hey, Laura Ingram, Lou Dobbs, Sean Hannity. That means a stew without mutton is just small potatoes. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Damn it, 'twas supposed to be wise. Now, let me read your letter. Rufus, your letter's in English. I can only read brogue. Read it to me, Rufus. What's it say?
Know all men by these presents. What presents? This letter.
That letter's a present?
Yes.
Better not get any ideas of getting away with that once we're married, Buster.
Let's start over. Know all men by this letter. Master Rufus Digby is a man I personally know to be worthy of your regard.
Caleb eavesdrops. In faithful duty for the United States of America, he has served the Continental Army with his skills as a master tinker and as a true patriot. Your most humble servant, George Washington.
I'm so proud of you. I can see it now. Everywhere you go, people will point to you and say, "There goes Rufus Digby, America's greatest stinker."
Good. We'll work on that slogan later. In the meantime, with General Washington's recommendation, think of all the people who'll want me to tinker with them. For them, I meant for them. That means we can get married.
Oh, Rufus, me knees are knocking.
Another saying from Killarney?
No, I said me knees are knocking. You've got some problems with English there, mister. I'll go show your letter to Master Davenport. When he reads it, he's sure to bestow us permission to be one in the sacred yoke of matrimony.
But will he let us get married?
Or it could be a severe comprehension disorder you've got there. I'll be right back, love. Dear God, I pray you understand what I'm telling you.
You'll be right back.
'Tis a miracle. He's cured. Thanks, Jesus.
Do hurry back, for every moment we're parted makes me say I miss you. And every moment we're together makes me say, "Ah!" How goes your day, Master Digby? It's been nice all day, up to right now. Sir, I must apologize. I fear I've given you cause to think ill of me. Oh, is that so? Is it because you make fun of me behind my back? Is that what friends do? It is, but I confess I'm ashamed of my past behavior. You're a fine man. I don't know why others think you're an idiotic, moronic, imbecilic buffoon. Master Digby, accept my deepest apologies, won't you? Let's shake hands, please. I think of all the ways I've thought up to cause you trouble, and I can't bring myself to stop thinking of them. Very well. I, being the fine man you say I am, doth dust as a fine man doth, and dust accept your apology.
It so pleases me you didst. It's a rewarding thing to ask for pardon, and believe me, this will be the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Now, Rufus, I was just Katie told me the two of you plan to get married.
It's amazing. I know how a woman as beautiful and wonderful as Katie could fall in love with you. I meant it's amazing you understand her. Amazing, I understand, how a woman as beautiful and wonderful as Katie could fall in love with you. Which I bring up only because, we being the best of friends, I must point out, marrying means Katie breaks her contract with Master Davenport, does it not? I've already thought of that, and I have a think on that thought. Hold that think. Master Davenport might forgive the debt if you can take care of a small little matter for him. Do a matter for the master, if you can do so quickly. Do a matter for the master faster for the master. But you must do your best work.
I'll do the matter for the master, faster for the master, and not shirk work.
Very well, then. I'll show you what needs to be repaired. Wonderful! Because I think I dislocated my frenulum on that last one. Come this way.
Give me a moment. I'm working with a dislocated frenulum here. Look.
Downs! A secret passageway. I have a question, Caleb. Yes? Who thinks I'm a buffoon?
There are some who see your tremendous weight
I beg your pardon.
with General Washington, and they admire you. But they don't want you to think they only admire you for your powerful connections, so they call you names to make you think otherwise. You see, they call you a buffoon because they admire you.
Oh, people admire me that much? More than that much. I'd call you a cretin. Thank you, Caleb. I mean every word of it, Master Digby. Now, the problem with the secret passageway. It exits out back to the barn, but we use the room to... How can I put it? Get rid of something in the kitchen? That's an excellent way of putting it. And get it out of your way. Oh, it's like you're living inside my head. Spooky. See the door here? It opens well enough, but I'm closing it. There's the rub. It seems the hinge gets stuck. I've read about secret passageways in Poor Richard's Almanac, the Colonial Home Edition. The one with the Ben Franklin centerfold. I've always wanted to see a secret passageway up close. He's always wanted to see a secret passageway up close. Master Digby, I was just standing here thinking, I wonder if Master Digby would want to see a secret passageway up close. Oh, do I? This is wonderful! Oh, I wish it were wonderful, but no, it's not wonderful. Take a look. If only it were wonderful. You get a better view from the inside. You'll see it's not at all wonderful. What are you waiting for? Get in there. No, it's not wonderful. Here, let me help. Now it's wonderful. So you'd marry and take Katie away from me, would you? I'll inform Master Davenport I discovered you're the one who's been pilfering all his whiskey. That's a large enough debt to keep you in prison for years. I told you to believe me, my simple friend, that this will be the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Scene 2. The living room of Davenport House. Over the mantel hangs a painting of John Davenport's fiancée, Abigail Livingston. She, Davenport, and his two guests, Joseph Stansbury and Benedict Arnold, are standing in front of the mantel admiring the portrait. I spared no expense. I commissioned the very same artist whose latest portrait of General Washington is the talk of the colonies. Do you love your portrait, Abigail?
How you flatter me with your affection, my love.
It's an exquisite likeness, John. This rivals the glorious moment the great artist Botticelli completed painting his immortal masterpiece, The Birth of Venus. Do you know what it is he said? No, what? I don't know. I was asking you. Washington wanted his painting completed first. He said, in these dark times, it's urgent the country sees a portrait of their leader that boosts their morale. Have you seen it? It's Mr. Commander in stockings, on a horse, nostrils flaring, reared up and ready to charge. And a horse. That stern expression, the white hair. I can never tell if it's supposed to be George or Martha. They both have such broad shoulders. You're a very lucky man to have Abigail's hand promised to you in marriage. What say you, Benedict?
General Washington had to have his painting fast. He's always fast. First in war, first in peace, first in line at Francis Tavern's brunch buffet last Sunday. Everyone stood at attention when he entered it without so much as a how do you do. He waltzed past them right up to the waffles.
Helped himself to an extra topping of cherries. Can't seem to get enough cherries.
The man suffers from a bizarre obsession with fruit. What 6-year-old chops down cherry trees? How was school today, Junior? Fine. We deforested Williamsburg.
Washington! Cuckoo! What a shame. He showed so much potential as a lumberjack. The situation of the country is horrid. The currency is depreciating. There's dissent, loss of morale. And Congress? Pfft!
Congress has become a facade. There will be ruin if things do not change soon. Gentlemen, this experiment in independence is a failure.
John, what are you saying?
Abigail, my love, what if this war is a mistake? What if I help the British Sirs, I believe we can take Mistress Abigail into our confidence. Pray, Benedict, speak to her of the plan. Listen to the Major General, Abigail. Madam, we believe British rule is preferable over the mob rule Congress proposes, and so whatever we can do to hasten the war's end, the better off we'll all be. As you know, I command the fort at West Point, and so I've given plans showing how to take the fort to the notorious, diabolically cunning, and dashingly good-looking British Major John Andre.
The pretty boy spy?
The pretty boy spy! I have arranged to surrender West Point over to him. When the British take West Point, they can take New York, and when they take New York, madam, this misguided war will come to an end. Major Andre,
The pretty boy spy?
the pretty boy spy, is in possession of my letter at this very moment.
Well, who's getting hungry? I am famished. Boy, oh boy. Yep. I think I'll go check on dinner.
Abigail, wait! Mistress O'Hara, what were you doing behind that door? What's this? Presents? Your most humble servant, George Washington. What's a Rufus Digby?
He's a better man than you.
Me?
Not you, General Arnold. Look at those shifty eyes, that crooked smile, that deviated septum. You double-crosser.
Me? It was Davenport's idea. My idea? It was all your idea. It was? My mistake. It's my first time at treason. I wasn't sure who gets the credit. How am I doing?
Well, there's the part where I found out about your plan. You need to work on keeping it secret. But otherwise, I'd say it's low down, sneaky, and subversive. Your name will forever be synonymous with traitor. Yup, that about sums up my assessment.
Thank you. That was thorough and well put.
Take her out of here and get rid of her! You doesn't have to get all huffy about it if you doesn't agree with the opinion. Lady Housemaid Ohuchi was spying on us. You pay to deport them from Europe to work as indentured servants for years and years, and this is the thanks you get?
Ooh, take me to America and call me a servant girl.
Ingrate! She mustn't be allowed to speak to anyone. It's possible someone might understand her. In her case, a low possibility, but still.
We'll keep her here incommunicado.
I don't care where you keep her in. Just make sure she doesn't speak to anyone. Not a word of this must get out.
We're all the way out here on Long Island. Who'll ever find out? It's probably door-to-door preachers.
Mennonite?
No, usually just two little old ladies during the day. We'll do what everyone else does, and not move until they're gone. Now, I must think. As I was saying, I need to think. Confound it! How's a person supposed to think? Next house, remind me. A bigger yard, more closet space, and no doors! They attract people like flies! All right, yes, who's there?
Private Percival Culpepper. I have a report from Major General Benedict Arnold.
Percival?
Let him in. Sir, at ease, Culpepper. I have your daily reconnaissance brief.
Now? But we were about to have dinner.
But the brief is brief. This business of reconnaissance, I find it unsavory. What is it but talking about others behind their backs? The good book says we must abhor gossip. But then who doesn't enjoy some juicy news,
By God, let's have it, man!
You can spill every sordid, seedy detail freely in front of Master Davenport here. And just the sordid, seedy details. No sense squandering a perfectly fine evening on anything less. Sir, we received word British Major John Andre...
The pretty boy spy?
Yes, him. He was captured near Tarrytown this morning. They found a letter on him exposing a plot to capture West Point. Troops are in pursuit to catch a traitor named in the papers as we speak.
Merciful heavens! Providence has deemed in its all-knowing wisdom to intervene in the plan. How did they find out? I shall remand myself to your custody.
You, Major General Benedict Arnold, a traitor. Now that's funny. What a delightfully dry sense of humor you have, sir.
That's me. I'm such a joker. I'm a traitor. You're just going to have to trust me on that one.
Seriously, though, regarding the traitor's identity, we haven't yet been informed. They're keeping his name top secret unless the dirty wretch get word of his impending capture and slip through the forces closing in on him at this very moment. I only wish I had the double-crossing weasel cornered right in front of me. Why, I'd grab him around the throat with both hands and wring his neck and twist it. I'd squeeze the living breath out of him. Back and forth I throttled him. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With that much gusto, sir.
He says you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'd show him no mercy. Like this. Bad boy! Bad boy! What you gonna do? I'm sure he's nowhere near here. He's got to be miles away. Try looking in Rhode Island. It's a small colony. Makes it easier to search. I hear it's lovely in Quagwanawanawanawak this time of year. I'm sure they'd enjoy a visit from you. Excellent idea, sir. Here, let me help you up. Put your leg, move your leg.
No, more.
Too hard.
Your end.
Push harder. Ouch.
You know this hurts.
Master Davenport, I need to report I've caught a man burrowing into your private stock. Oh, dear God. The General's showing us his new horse-riding technique. Out! Out!
Permission to straighten your wig? There. I came straight away to bring you this report because just thought you'd like to know, what with you being in charge of West Point and all that.
Thank you, Culpepper. You're dismissed.
Sir! Oh, and if you're traveling tonight, take care. It's treacherous out there.
What am I going to do? For heaven's sake, Benedict, have you taken leave of your senses? Ow! That doesn't help. Now is not the time to panic. Seemed like a reasonably good enough time to me. Snap out of it, man. I'll stop that! Feeling better now?
Meh.
There's no telling how much time we have before they find me. Stiff upper lip now. There's no telling how much time we have before they find me. Come, give me a smile now. Come on. Coochie coo. Who's a good turncoat? Who's a good turncoat? I feel better now. Thank you, John. There's my Benny boy. Now listen to me. This changes everything. Fetch Stansbury, then meet me in the kitchen. We'll plan your escape. We've no time to lose. Make haste.
Yes, I'll make haste and gather Stansbury. And then the three of us, that's you, me, and Stansbury, will meet in the kitchen, the three of us, and there we'll plan my escape. The three of us.
Can't you just go? I shall run with the winged feet of Mercury himself and fly like the wind. Katie's letter. Where can I hide it? I know. The secret compartment in the clock. From 12 to 6, then twice to 9. Turn back to where the hands align. No one will ever find it there. I escaped from the passageway. I breathe fresh air again. I smell the sweet fragrance of the barnyard.
Hark! Who goes there?
'Tis Rufus Digby, the tinker, a mender of pots and pans. No repair too small.
Rufus? What are you doing out here in the dark? I don't understand.
Well, you see, Caleb...
Now I understand. Rufus, 'tis I, Abigail.
Oh, Mistress Abigail, Katie was on her way to...
Hush, there's no time to talk. Listen to me. The colonies are in danger from traitors and we have to warn General Washington. What?
I can't talk with your hand over my mouth! I said we have to warn thee, General Washington, about these traitors.
Yes, thee. Will you help me?
There's nothing I wouldn't do for the thee.
Is your trusty steed in the barn?
Yes, my trusty steed is in the barn. Aren't you, Ricola? She likes when I call her name. Don't you, Ricola? Ricola. Ricola.
You named your horse Ricola?
She was a little horse.
We must saddle up our horses right away and ride to the nearest army camp to warn them.
Absolutely. I'll just stop in the house first. Katie's gotta be wondering where I am.
Oh, but Katie's... I'm sorry, we must go now.
Halt, you two! Throw down your arms and surrender!
Those must be the traitors! Hurry!
Those must be the traitors! Fire! Neither one of them is Benedict Arnold, Major. They tried to run, Sergeant. They must be part of his spy ring. What shall we do with the bodies, sir? Traitors aren't worthy of a Christian burial. We'll throw them down that well yonder. Yes, sir. Hear this, ye souls cast to the well. Upon this spot be bound to dwell, marked as traitors on thy tomb, eternally till crack of doom. Lest proof of innocence absolves, may God have mercy on thy souls. Sergeant Crothers, when we're done, tear a shingle from the house to hang on the well, and write on it these words. Here lie 2 traitors, September 23rd, 1780. Yes, sir!
I feel like I got kicked by a horse.
Not to mention, I got kicked by he of that horse's rear end, Caleb. But now that I mentioned it.
Look, those are American soldiers. They're surrounding Davenport House.
They must be looking for the traitors. They came pretty quick after we warned them.
But Rufus, we never got to the army camp. We only got as far as the well.
Our sense of direction must have gone south.
The well. Did you notice? There was a sign hanging on the well. It said, here lie
2 traitors.
Then you saw it too, September 23rd, 1780.
That's today. Well, it serves those traitors right.
Rufus?
Them loyalists want to stick with the British.
Rufus?
I say, oh, this rebellion bother is a bit of a crinky-winky. Say what? More tea?
Rufus!
Yes?
Do you remember men with muskets trying to stop us?
Yes, they even fired them at us.
Rufus?
They should be more careful.
Rufus?
They made sparks and smoke, and gadzooks they were loud.
They killed us.
Not only that, but they could have killed us, and... Funny, but it sounded like you said they killed us.
I did.
A wild guess, but that may be why it sounded like you said what you said. Uh-oh. Let's not panic. Maybe that just sounds worse than it is. Abigail, why would they kill us? We're on their side, aren't we?
There's only one explanation. They were American soldiers and we thought they were the traitors, but they thought we were the traitors. Oh, this is horrible. Rufus, that's us in the well.
But, Mistress Abigail, we're not traitors. We're patriots. We're Americans.
We're ghosts. But wait.
There's more?
If we're dead, then why are we still here?
I don't know. I'm still working through the we're ghosts part.
Hear this, ye souls cast to the well, upon this spot be bound to dwell.
Marked as traitors on
as
thy tomb, eternally till crack of doom. Let's proof of innocence absolves. May God have mercy on thy souls. Abigail, we're doomed to be trapped here for eternity. That could take forever. No, wait. I have a letter of recommendation from General Washington. That's all the evidence we'll need to prove we're not traitors. Now we're cooking with firewood. So as I was about to say before, Katie took my letter to show Master Davenport.
Oh, Tinker, that must be the letter I saw John take from Katie when he took her prisoner.
Prisoner? Katie! My letter? Mistress Abigail.
And so the spirits of Rufus and Abigail remain doomed at Davenport House for eternity. 1780 faded into history, taking with it the secret of the true identities of the 2 bodies in the well, leaving only a crude handwritten sign forever branding them as nameless traitors. The years came and went, down to this very day. Meet Davenport House's newest residents, Sherwin and Myra Davis.
He's officially late. He's not late, sweetheart. I told him to get here before it's 8 o'clock. And it's not officially 8 p.m. yet. Did you try calling him? And why are you sticking your hand in my face? Are you telling me to shut up? What? What is it? What? I'm not a palm reader, Sherwin. Use words. Speak!
I texted him 5 times.
Be grateful he agreed to come over. I thought house calls went the way of the dodo bird. I didn't know doctors did them anymore. The important thing is you're finally getting help for your panic attacks.
Yeah, it'll help, indirectly.
Eh? You know, cures work better when they're directly.
He works different.
How different can we be talking here, Cher? Different psychologists. Tell me about when your mother locked you in the closet versus psychiatric doctor. Here, take this pill. That'll be $200. Different?
He's a doctor of paranormal studies. He's certified in apparition appearances.
You called for an exorcist? Christ, that's different. Psychiatrist versus voodoo witch doctor different. Jesus, Cher, I know you as an intelligent person, a rational man, a sensible man. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you frickin' insane?
He's not an exorcist or voodoo witch doctor or anything like that, okay? Better?
Yes, that's better. Look at me, my life's gotten to a point where unless I'm checking to see if a voodoo witch doctor is swinging by the house, it's not a full day. So how's he gonna help? Don't answer that unless the next words out of your mouth are, he's the kind of doctor who helps people who think they see ghosts.
I knew you'd understand. That's exactly what he does. He's a ghost hunter.
Now I need a $200 pill. You're on your way to a nervous breakdown, and you sent for a ghost hunter. You know what that means? That means I straightened up the house just to make it look nice for a quack.
How can he be a quack? He's got a certification in apparition appearances. He even wrote a book called Poltergeist Hauntings, How to Repossess Your Home. It was on the Times bestseller list. He's tops in his field, and I called him because I'm telling you, Myra, there's something supernatural going on here.
Okay, fine, honey. Careful, relax. You'll give yourself a stroke. Then who you gonna call? Dr. Frankenstein? Take a deep breath. Good. You're back to your regular self already. I can see the vein on your temple back to throbbing like it normally does.
Look at the time. It's 7:57 already.
What? It's officially 7:57 already? Wow. Where does the time go when you're expecting a witch doctor?
When we first met, I was so taken by your witty quips. Who knew about red flags back then? Look, I told Dr. Williams, get here before 8. That's usually when the ghosts start haunting, and he needs to get here because I don't want him to miss anything that might happen.
Like knocking sounds in the middle of the night, lights flickering.
And that's a hoot because...
Because I think you need a doctor while you think we need a ghost hunter, when what we probably need is a handyman. Remember when you thought someone broke into the house in the middle of the night? It turned out the noise was your stomach growling. Normally, you getting spooked by your own body noises is something I'd find amusing, but not when you rouse me out of a deep sleep. You have a very active imagination.
You want to dredge up the past? All right. How about the time you...
Sherwin, don't say something I'll live to make you regret. Look, all I'm saying is there's a logical explanation for everything, sweetheart. Whatever it is that's causing whatever you're hearing at night, we'll figure it out. But if there's one thing in the world I can say unequivocally, it's that there's no such thing as ghosts.
I didn't think it at all possible, but it just got colder in here.
Yes, so it's drafty. You said you wanted a house with some history to it, something with charm, remember? The real estate agent sold you on this one, what with the story about the ghosts from the well. They were traitors. They got shot. There's a curse. Blah, 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 blah. And look what it's done. It's turned you into a nervous wreck in just 3 years after moving in. Charmed enough, Cher?
Please, stop. You're embarrassing me. This woman should be taken out to the village square and shot. Abigail, we haven't even been here a minute and they're already with the traitor.
Can you believe she put up that nasty sign on the well again? I tossed it away again. This time I threw it right on the lawn.
Must be the doctor. Now, Myra, please.
Shh. Shh. Shh.
You always have to have the last word, don't you?
Dr. Williams, hello. I'm Sherwin Davis. Pleased you're here. Won't you come in?
Excuse me. That was my text notification. Sorry. Oh, I just received your messages. 5 of them. Are you getting here soon at 7:50? Are you getting here soon at 7:51? Are you getting here soon at 7:52?
I wanted to make sure you got here.
It's genius how your plan worked.
Let me take your hat and coat, Doctor.
Zounds, it's Caleb, and he's a doctor now.
He's also alive.
So, they finally worked out health care. I arrived not a moment too soon. I see your ghost is haunting you tonight, as you predicted. This one looks especially menacing. I'll probably regret saying this, but happy to meet you, Doctor.
Oh!
This is Myra, my wife, Myra. This is Dr. Williams.
Enchanted.
You look familiar. Where have I seen you before?
Are you an actress?
I've seen you in the movies, haven't I?
Oh, you're very sweet.
I think it was a Stephen King film.
I was the one rooting for the killer clown. So you're going to get rid of Sherwin's pesky little ghost form? How nice.
Ooh, a real-life skeptic. I would say we all have altered states of consciousness induced by changes in vibrations, persistent between ourselves and others, which are vibrating on various frequencies, but vibrating all the time between this dimension and the next.
Okay. I'm sure you know what Freud said about vibrating. Or was it about vibrators? No, it was about vibrating. Myra hasn't seen ghosts vibrate like you and I have, Doctor.
Stop! Do not close that door.
How do you do?
Ah, there must be another well. My associate, Ophelia.
I was sensing for frequencies from your house. I was looking for a sign from the beyond. I finally received a message. I saw it spelled out on the doorstep. It said, "Welcome." And your hydrangeas need pruning.
Ophelia is clairvoyant. She has the ability to contact the spirits of the dead.
I say hello to them. He says goodbye to them.
My card.
Williams Ghost Hunters, for when you want to give up the ghost. You're going to like the way you're unspooked, I guarantee it.
Now down to the task at hand. If the ghosts are active in this house, we must find out why. What do you know about them?
I'd say we know frighteningly little.
Mrs. Davis, simply because the eyes do not see it, do not dismiss it. I just solved a case of a man missing for 20 years. An old pocket watch of his was brought to me to use to discern his whereabouts. Utilizing the latest in paranormal technology, we were able to peer into an invisible world. He was in a gloomy place, shrouded in shadows, walking amidst numerous lost, miserable souls, with vacant, blank looks on their faces, reflecting their empty, vacuous minds and hopeless existences.
Where was he? Purgatory? Hades? The seventh circle of hell?
No. Further. Kentucky. The point is, Myra, Dr. Williams found him. Good going, Doctor. Now, I know you have your technical procedures and whatnot, but I was wondering if it would help to burn sage in every room while rotating counterclockwise. What are your thoughts on that? Or does it work better to rotate clockwise? Should I take your silence to mean not to rotate at all? You should take my silence to mean your question is so stupid, I'm speechless. What do you think I am, a voodoo witch doctor?
You probably think sea monkeys are real too,
We professionals use science. We use this.
Can of air freshener?
I won't hold it against you to not realize what I have here in my hands.
A can of air freshener?
It's my own concoction. It has a highly developed sixth scent. This neutralizes negative energy.
Smells like banana mango ghost be gone. Does it really work?
No.
Dr. Williams, when I was outside, I was looking for a sign.
I know. Never has there been a clairvoyant as diligent as you, Ophelia.
I found this one on the lawn.
On the lawn? That's a sign from the well. It keeps falling off. I keep putting it back.
What can you tell me about this sign?
It keeps falling off. I keep putting it back.
Here lie two traitors, September 23rd, 1780.
I object! We're not traitors! Abigail, how many more times do I have to turn off the lights when they do the traitor, before they get the message? We're not traitors!
At least one more time than you already have.
Gadzooks, what a guy's gotta do around here to make a simple point.
Well, looks like you're just in time for the ghostivities.
I'll get the lights. Thus, once more on to the breach we go, Ophelia.
See what I'm dealing with here, Dr. Williams? It's fantastic. Now tell me what you know about this sign. It's from the Revolutionary War, Doctor. 2 traitors were killed and, according to legend, their bodies dumped into the well.
Makes the well water more full-bodied. What? Too soon?
Abigail, it's no use. It's been 240 years. We're never going to prove we're patriots. No one even knows who we are.
You mean were.
No, we were, but now we are.
That makes sense. I don't know how, but it does.
I feel something. I'm vibrating.
What is it, Ophelia?
I sense the ghosts are the spirits of the 2 traitors in the well.
Bravo, Ophelia! Yes, we know that already. That's the legend, but no one's ever figured out who the 2 traitors were. It's like they're...
A legend?
I must have read John Davenport's memoirs dozens of times.
He's fallen asleep reading that book every night for the past 3 years. Me, I prefer my nighttime spirits out of a martini.
And for the life of me, I can't figure out who they were. Have you ever dealt with anything like this, Doctor? Not quite, no. There was a particular fascination I had about your case.
It's a particularly fascination. I find it particularly fascinating.
The suspense is killing me. Lord, if there's nothing else going to end this, please let the suspense kill me.
Would you like to know what it is?
Wait, I'm giving it a chance to work.
You see, 240 years ago, my ancestor Caleb Williams lived and worked here as a butler to John Davenport. I always had a strange premonition I'd be in this house one day, standing in the very same spot my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather once stood. And look, here I am. Of course, this room has probably seen a lot of changes over 240 years.
Sherwin wanted an historic home with a lot of spirit to it, and that's what he got, didn't you, Cher?
Rufus, did you hear what Dr. Williams said? He's not Caleb. He's Caleb's descendant.
Well, if you insist, my family has in its possession Caleb Williams' diary. Abigail, I'm not a betting man, but I'll bet Caleb's diary mentions us. But it only mentions what we already know about Davenport House.
I just remembered why I'm not a betting man.
Caleb noted Benedict Arnold and Joseph Stansbury were frequent visitors and would discuss politics, but he wasn't aware of their plot. Apparently, there was a housemaid, Katie O'Hara.
Katie! Abigail, he's talking about my Katie!
An Irish immigrant and indentured servant to Davenport. Caleb was deeply smitten with her.
It's true. Caleb was up to his neck in Smith.
There's something about how no one could understand half of what Katie said. Oddly enough, that part of the diary is obscure. In any event, Caleb desperately beseeched her to marry him, but her heart belonged to another.
Miracle of miracles, here it comes! I take back everything I just said about them never knowing who we are.
You mean word.
I know, not that again.
Caleb remained lovelorn. It was difficult to meet someone back then. Where could you go to meet new people? Everything took a day's journey by horse, and after that you smelled like one. It's a miracle the population even grew. So Caleb turned to corresponding with the ladies. Oh, I have a copy of one of the letters he wrote. I carry it with me everywhere. It's very romantic. I shall read it to you. July the 14th, 1787. My dearest Lulabelle, I feel impelled to take my pen in hand to write you these few lines. My love for you is deathless. Scarce do my thoughts wander from memories of our blissful time together. Life here is good. Today we sang several hymns by John Wesley out on the veranda until the neighbors asked us to keep the ruckus down. I'm sorry, but am I the only one hearing a fiddle?
I thought the music might go nice with your reading, Doctor.
No, turn it off!
Okay, sorry.
Oh, Lulabelle, when I'm alone in my room, something whispers to me wise words my sainted mother spoke. She said, Caleb, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But Lulabelle, it says chocolates on the box. So you do know what you're going to get. You're going to get chocolates, Lulabelle. It isn't a mystery. I don't know what my mother was going on about. Yours, Caleb. P.S. If you ever change your mind about not seeing me again, let me know. Yes, Caleb was a prolific writer. He corresponded with many women. It was 1800.
Good Lord.
It was 1800, the year he married. One of the letters took. He finally found love, married, and raised a family. And here I stand before you, his last living descendant.
I really admire how you don't care what people think of you. Here's what I think. I think there's no such thing as ghosts, and that you're all loonies. That's about all I can take. I'm going to turn in early. Oh, maybe reading John Davenport's memoirs here will knock me right out. It does Sherwin. From propped up in bed reading to flat out on his back sleeping in under half an hour. He moves his lips while he reads, and the flapping sound keeps me up, so thank God it's usually not longer than that.
Are you sure you want to call it a night now? It's not even 8:30. You'll miss Dr. Williams spraying the ghosts. Oh, okay, good night.
Well, far be it from me to say it hasn't been an enjoyable evening, but I'll say it anyway. It hasn't. Good night.
Good night.
Nighty-night.
So, Ophelia, Sherwin, the way I see it is if we apply an algorithmic spectral
Your book,
analysis-
madam? Oh, thanks. I wasn't actually serious about reading it, but it may be good for a laugh or two. Goodness knows I need one right about now, and My, but your wife must have been exhausted. Myra? Myra! Sure. The book. How can you even think about reading right now? Just rest. Tonight's excitement's been too much for you.
Rufus, that sleepy, grumpy woman, said this book is John's memoirs. How is it we've never seen it before?
Because they kept it in their bedchamber. The one room we kept off limits. And he buried himself in that book every night for 3 years, huh? This adds a completely different meaning to hearing her say, "I'm falling asleep. Are you almost finished? If you want to keep going, it's okay. I'll cover my head with the pillow so you don't wake me."
Memoirs of John Davenport. With a contrite heart, I thank the United States of America for the mercy she has shown me, and dedicate this book to the memory of my beloved Abigail Livingston. Oh, John.
Sure. I'm here. Just rest. But the book. Honey, please, try not to say anything. I know that's difficult for you, but you really ought to try it. It'd be so good for you. Sherwin, the book. It's moving. I know. It's a very touching account. Now, rest. I've never seen you so eager to read those memoirs before. Oh my God, you must be worse off than I thought. I ask myself, what can it be about this room that draws the spirits of 240-year-old traitors back time and time again? Answer that, and we crack this case. That's it. They're old. They forget why they walk into the room. Yes, I'm positive that's not even remotely close. Sure, make all the fun of us you want. You're talking to a man who's been living in a well for 240 years. Believe me, that teaches you a lot about the meaning of humility and patience. Ow! I'm still working on the patience part. Ophelia, why did you kick me? But doctor, I didn't kick you. Sherwin, the book! Abigail, put that book down!
But I'm just getting to the good part where John wrote about me.
Drop that book! The ghost must want to draw our attention to John Davenport's memoirs. But I've read this cover to cover numerous times. Are the ghosts saying I missed clues? I have it. What we need to know, who the traitors were. Yes? That's what we need to know, who the traitors were. Who they were or weren't, that is the question, eh, Ophelia? Sherwin! I'll need to see the notes taken from all previous seances with the spirits. I don't have any notes from the seances. Why not? Because there haven't been any seances. Well, that makes it more difficult. To have notes from them? Well, obviously. To identify the ghosts. Oh, perhaps we can conduct our own seance then. Then what? I'm just saying, perhaps then we can conduct our own seance. Oh, I defer to Ophelia. That's her department. If it's not too late. It's only about 8:30. I'm good if you are. I meant if we're still able to summon the spirits. We won't know unless we try. Let's do it. You'll love it. Better than burning sage. Do you need anything from us? Incense, candles? No. A set of crystal balls? Why is it coming from you? That sounds god-awful. All we need is the set nature's already given us. Our hearts and minds. Mr. and Mrs. Davis, before we start, an advisory. It's normal to feel trepidation. Do not worry. Think of this similar to a time in your life you may have gone someplace foreign to you, where you met strangers. You may have discovered they're peculiar, contentious. They may even have frightened you. Keep in mind, these are souls from a time long ago, and their ways will appear strange. You must remain civil, even if they are offensive, but know that as nice as you are to them, they may never like you. Like the first time I met my future in-laws. Perfect. Everyone be seated. Now, Myra, remember what Dr. Williams said. Please don't say anything that will scare the ghosts away. Keep it up and I'll arrange for you to talk to them personally. Look, there's got to be a perfectly logical explanation for everything that's happened. As a man of reason, Sherwin, do you really think having a seance is the logical thing to do? I do like it better than your offer to have me talk with them personally, yes. Okay, just to humor you. But then we put a stop to this nonsense once and for all. Promise me, Sherwin. All right. But if this doesn't work, I mean it, then at least we'll know we gave it a good try. Put your hands on the table, fingers touching, and make your minds as blank as possible. Like this. You have a gift for making it look so easy. Thank you. Anolostos mirabis spericata, nimbus hypnosticos lazumbata. Anolostos mirabis spericata, nimbus hypnosticos lazumbata. My favorite hit from the 10th century. Would you believe 26 weeks on the Latin charts?
Abigail, what's happening to us?
I don't know. It's pulling on me, too.
We have their attention. Go ahead, Doctor.
Testing. Spirits, we want to help you.
They want to help us, Rufus.
Spirits, we're going to ask you some questions. Knock on the table once if your answer is no. Knock twice if your answer is yes. Spirits, do you mind answering our questions?
No, we don't mind. Yes, well, that question always confuses me. Is that 1 or 2 knocks?
2 knocks. Go.
Oh, now I get it. This is a prank. You got me, Cher. The floating book? I couldn't even see the wires. You're all very good, but you can stop now.
Myra, it's not a prank. All our hands are on the table.
The ghosts from the well are here, Mrs. Davis. Well, no wonder. You took their sign.
Are you the ghosts of the 2 traitors? Ow! Why do they pick on me? I noticed every time you've called them traitors, something happens, like lights going out or getting kicked or knocked off your chair. They get offended. Spirits, are you saying you were not traitors? That's a yes! So they weren't traitors. Then who were they? Let me see if I can find any more clues. Mr. Caleb Williams descended. I'm Rufus Digby. I was betrothed to Katie O'Hara. I'm no traitor. I have a letter of recommendation from General George Washington. And I'm here with Abigail Livingston.
How do you do?
Did you just curtsy to Dr. Williams? He can't see you!
That's no excuse not to be polite. You're the one talking to him, though he can't hear you.
What do you want me to do? Draw him a picture? Dr. Williams, we were on our way to General Washington to warn him.
Draw him a picture. Wait, I have an idea. Come with me to the attic.
We're losing them. Come in, spirits. Spirits, come in. Do you copy?
Shh! Did you hear that? What was that strange fluttering sound?
It's your upper lip. It's been busy while you read to yourself.
And listen to this. This is from a Major Peyton about shooting the 2 traitors. He says we tossed their bodies down the well, and I curse their spirits to be bound to Davenport House till crack of doom, unless there be evidence that absolves their lost souls. It's not just a legend. It has to be. Those 2 poor people. The curse means they can't leave Davenport House and go to their heavenly rest.
Like that old TV show. They just want to move on up to that deluxe apartment in the sky, huh?
But if they were innocent, that means this Major Peyton fellow must have shot them mistakenly, believing they were
Oh, you noticed the tray, Doctor. Good eye. I know. What can you say? That's an antique colonial silver serving tray, and let me tell you, it wasn't cheap, but Sherwin wanted authentic. He's acting out the word he wants to say by playing charades. Tray? I'm right. Tray. Second syllable. Rip. Not rip. Shred. Tray shred. You're not making any sense, Doctor. Some type of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Tear. Tray tear. Past tense of tear. Torn. Not torn. Past preterite form. Tore. Tray tore. Oh, traitors. Duck. Tray duck. What are you trying to say now, Doctor?
What she said. Use all your power and summon the spirits back.
Annulus dos mirabis spiricata, nimbus agnosticus losimbata. You know, it kind of grows on you the more you hear it, don't it? Let me know if you want me to jump in. I can chant backup.
Look!
That's the antique painting we stored in the attic.
Aha! See that, Myra? See that? This is nothing like meeting my parents. They don't even have an attic. Doctor, that's a portrait of Abigail Livingston, John Davenport's fiancée, and, according to his memoirs, she was reported missing the night of September 23rd, 1780.
Well, that's the same date as the sign on the well.
The sign on the well! Spirits, are you telling us one of you is Abigail Livingston? This throws out the entire legend. They weren't traitors, they weren't even 2 men. So if one of them was Abigail Livingston, who was the other?
Horse.
No, I don't think so. There's no one left accounted for. Who were you, Spirit? Oh, Mistress Abigail, they'll never figure out who Don't you correct me. Perhaps if we knew his occupation, that may provide a clue to who he was. Spirit, were you a soldier in the American Revolution? Were you a farmer?
Oh, good. This is like when we played trivia game night. Were you a town crier?
Town crier? What a childish name for an occupation.
Hey, get paid for going around town shouting about everyone's personal business. People give it away for free now, just talking to their phones. Bird boy.
I beg your pardon. Look here, it's bad enough you insult me in private, but I will not stand for being insulted in front of others.
I was asking the spirit if he was a bird boy. That was someone who chased birds away from crops. Not a bird boy. Knock knobbler?
Knock knobbler?
Yeah, knock knobbler. That was a wonderful career in 1780. Knock-knobbler. It's not a thing now, but knock-knobbler? Still good for 29 points in Scrabble. Spirit, were you, knock-knobbler?
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm so sorry. It was such a good guess. Knock-knobbler. Were you a barber, blacksmith, chimney sweep, gunsmith, innkeeper, locksmith, milliner, pastor, peddler, printer, schoolmaster, shopkeeper, soapmaker, tailor, tanner, weaver, butcher, baker, candlestick maker? He must have been collecting unemployment.
Well, what's that other old nursery rhyme? You know, the one that starts with something, something, soldier, sailor? I got it. Tinker, tailor. Spirits. Now listen. Were you a...
Forget it. We could go on guessing forever. But we're so close, Abigail.
What else can we do?
Odds Batkins, there must be something you can do. Think!
I can't think of anything else to do.
Remember the American spirit. I have not yet begun to fight. Don't quit.
I say we quit. It's no use. All this tinkering with occupations is draining.
Odds Batkins, what's with these kids today? Wait, he said tinkering. He said tinkering. That's close enough.
What are they knocking yes to? I don't know. I didn't ask them anything. I only said all this tinkering with occupations is draining.
He said it again.
They knocked yes for draining? The spirit was a plumber?
They had plumbers back then?
Who else is going to fix a knock-knobbler's pipe? Well, you can't argue with that.
I'm not a plumber! How ridiculous, me, a plumber! Huh?
Abigail! What's a plumber?
No, wait. They're saying not a plumber?
Tinkering. That's what they were knocking yes to. Spirits, were you a tinker? See? Wasn't that easy?
That wasn't easy.
And you thought it would be difficult. So he's a tinker, huh? Doesn't Davenport mention a tinker? I think he does. It wasn't much of anything, just a little blurb, but let me see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere. Oh, okay, here it is. As did my housemaid, Katie O'Hara, who lived the rest of her days heartbroken by the sudden disappearance of her fiancé, Rufus Digby, a tinker by trade.
Oh, Katie, that's Katie. Katie never stopped loving me. I didn't mean to break your heart, Katie.
Who disappeared from Davenport House the evening of September 23rd, 1780, as did my beloved fiancé, Abigail Livingston.
Oh, John.
Spirits, so one of you is Abigail Livingston, and the other is this tinker, Rufus Digby.
Wow! Ophelia! Mwah!
Why, Dr. Williams!
I know! What an amazing discovery! I feel waves of euphoria exploding inside me like a Macy's fireworks show. Don't you?
Oh, yes! Yes!
At long last, we finally know who the two spirits are. There you go. I told you we are R.
Rufus Digby was the gentleman who had come courting Katie earlier that day, whose letter of recommendation from George Washington proclaiming Master Digby a true patriot I had taken from Katie and...
Oh, wait a second. If there's a letter from George Washington saying that Tinker was a patriot, then that's proof he wasn't a traitor.
You're right. That letter must be the evidence they need to take the curse off them. I hid the letter in a secret drawer. That's it then. All we need to do is find the Tinker's letter from George Washington.
Yes, Master Sherwin, you've got it.
What do you know? I got that one right.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, don't tell me we're spending the rest of the night cross-examining George Washington about the letter.
Right. Let's keep lawyers out of this. Davenport doesn't say where the secret drawer is.
Ask the spirits where we can find the secret drawer.
Mistress Abigail, Master Digby, please, tell us where we can find your letter. Can you tell us where is the secret drawer?
Odds Bodkins! If we knew where my letter was, do you think we'd be here enjoying this lovely chat? I don't know where it is, do you?
No. John never said anything about a secret drawer, but it may have been here in the living room because that's where we were when he took your letter from Katie.
We've searched this place through for 240 years. If there's a secret drawer in this room, then it's a really best-kept secret drawer. Ophelia, they're not answering. Summon them back again.
Analostos mirabis spiricata, nimbus hypnosticus lozambata.
Oh, she's doing it again. Another ghost cast.
Analostos mirabis spiricata, nimbus hypnosticus lozambata.
Make sure you tell him it's the last chance. Get it? Chance.
Myra, please. Oh my God!
I told you the house is drafty.
What's happening? I don't know!
Long Island weather is funny that way. One day it's 75 degrees and sunny, and then the rest of the year it's awful.
It's a twister! It's a twister!
Oh no, you and Auntie M here gonna call for Dorothy now?
But the storm is only inside your living room! Did you leave a window open?
I sense something. Yes, I most definitely sense something.
vibrating! Newsflash! The whole house is vibrating! Watch out! The table's moving! Hang on!
Was that you, God? Wasn't me.
Let's get out of here!
No, we have to see this through.
You see it through. I've seen enough.
You're not frightened, are you?
I'm not frightened of anything.
Then what are you scared of?
This isn't just anything.
But Rufus, this may be our only chance. We'll get through this together. Look, if anything more happens to scare you, then we'll call it quits. Just say the word. We'll call it quits, all right?
We'll call it quits?
Yes.
All I need to do is say the word.
Just say the word.
And it'll be quits.
Yes.
All right. I'll be brave. Steadfast. Never will you have seen a soul as courageous as I.
Myra, are you okay?
What the hell was that? Because it was frickin' great.
What about you, Ophelia? Are you all right?
Hello? Did Dorothy make it back to Kansas okay?
Ophelia, what's wrong? Please, say something.
Abigail.
Quits!
Rufus, stop. That's not Ophelia. That's John. My John.
Did you get conked on the head? She doesn't look a thing like John.
Abigail, it's John. I want to help you.
It's John Davenport speaking through Ophelia.
May I say, Mr. Davenport, that's how you make an entrance. Bravo! Self-assured, commands attention, takes charge. Right, Sherwin?
Sherwin.
Master Davenport, help us help you, help Mistress Abigail. Wait a second. Help us help you, help her. Okay. Please tell us, Rufus Digby's letter from George Washington you took from Katie O'Hara. Where is the secret drawer you hid it in?
From 12 to 6, then twice to 9. Turn back to where the hands align.
John.
One more time, Master Davenport.
He's gone. He could only walk among mortals for a brief instance.
Ophelia, do you remember what he said? From 12 to 6, then twice to 9.
I have no memory other than the spirit of John Davenport used my body as his vehicle to speak through.
Tell me more.
I think he said, put your hands behind your back. You put your hands behind your back.
And then do the hokey pokey? No, Doc. He said you turn back your hands.
Turn back to where the hands align. From 12 to 6, then twice to 9.
Oh, no, you're not going to start chanting too, are you?
I've got it. Clock hands align at 12. The secret drawer is in a clock. Abigail, they know where the secret drawer is. My letter is in a secret drawer in a clock.
A clock?
I know, kind of a strange place to put a drawer, but you can never have enough storage space.
There was only one clock in the living room. It was on the mantel, right there.
You see a clock where you're pointing? You got conked on the head worse than I thought. Eureka! Now, which clock in the house was it?
Rufus, go. Tell them it was the mantel clock in the living room.
Odds bodkins! How do I knock that on a table? Let me see if I can go find a painting of a mantel clock. As I recall from my research, there was a clock in the kitchen, another in Davenport's bedroom. There was a grandfather clock in the hallway. Oh, there was also a mantel clock in the living room. They're telling us it was the mantel clock in the living room. Where is it? Is that sword in the attic too? Let's go get it. Come on! Let's go! What are you waiting for? Some of the original furnishings are here, but I'm afraid not all of them. So, we don't need all of them, just the clock. You don't have the clock, do you? According to the records, in 1876, some furniture was donated to the Metropolitan Museum of Art's exhibit marking the 100th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Since then, it's been in their permanent collection of the Revolutionary War period. Then we're still in luck. We'll go there and ask them to let us examine the clock. I'm afraid it's against their policy. Back when I was researching Davenport House, I asked the museum for permission to examine the furniture. They thought I was joking, but I insisted I was absolutely serious. And that's when they called the Department of Homeland Security.
Well, tell them the spirits need that clock to prove their innocence.
Ah, you nailed it with that one. A regular bolt of genius.
Myra, don't you have any sympathy for the spirits whatsoever?
Sweetheart, I feel as sorry for them as you do. Well, you feel more sorry for them than I do, but let's face it, there's nothing more we can do to help them.
Abigail, there's nothing more they can do for us. My nerves are frazzled.
I need to rest. I'm going back to the well. It's the only place I can call home. Just not the home of my choice. We weren't given a choice. Ophelia's right. The only way they'd let us examine the clock is if they witness what we've witnessed here tonight. But if we tell them we were talking with ghosts, I'm afraid they'd send us right off to Creedmoor. What can anyone do? I know what I can do. I can go see that clock.
What?
It occurs to me that my ancestor Caleb Williams wrote of his rival for the affection of Katie O'Hara. That rival was her fiancé, this Rufus Digby. Caleb was somewhat of a scoundrel, so he probably mistreated the poor fellow. You see how he's been picking on me? I'm sure that's the reason why. Any idiot can see that. And you're not just any idiot. Thank you. And that must be why me calling them the T word is so especially detestable to them. This is my chance to atone for the sins of my ancestor, Caleb Williams. I shall make a professional call upon the museum's director first thing tomorrow morning.
Rufus, come back. Analyst guitar, nimbus hypnosticus lesson patar.
Not so hard!
Rufus, Dr. Williams is going to help us. He's going to go speak to the museum director to examine the clock.
He's going to do that for us?
Yes, he says he wants to make up for all the mean things Caleb did to you.
Like the time Caleb switched the sugar for salt I poured in my coffee?
That's what he said.
And the time he slipped ants down my back?
I'm sure of it.
And the time he put on your underwear and danced a jig in the moonlight trying to lure me away from Katie?
Wait, what?
Hodgkins. Oh, thank you, Dr. Williams. Mwah. Why, Ophelia. Dr. Williams. Why, Dr. Williams. Oh, Ophelia. It's 1 p.m. the next day. Seated in the living room at the table are Myra and Ophelia. Myra is relaxed, scrolling through her phone as usual. Sherwin is pacing, fingers crossed, intertwining with Rufus and Abigail, who are also nervously pacing. He's officially late. Oh, just shut up already. Dr. Williams said he'd call as soon as he knows something. It's 1 o'clock already. The museum's been open for 3 hours. I'm going to call him. Maybe he's talking to the director. Maybe he's examining the clock. Right. The important thing is that we don't worry. Oh, great. Now the call's not going through. Here, use mine. 212-SPIRITS. He told me he rents space out of Mel's Liquor Emporium because they could get him this number. It's going to voicemail. Dr. Williams, hello, it's Sherwin Davis. I'm calling to see what you found out about the clock. Please call me back. Hope everything's okay. Remember what you said. Don't worry. Don't worry? What kind of useless drivel is that? Useless is keeping your fingers crossed since 10 a.m. like I notice you've been doing, Mr. Davis. I don't know how intelligent people fall prey to silly woo-woo. Thank God you know where to draw the line. In a weaker moment, I might have opened an umbrella indoors. She's right. What am I doing? I'm losing my grip on reality. That's what I'm doing. The doctor's taking too long, and I've kept my fingers crossed for 3 hours like it'll help. And I can't feel them anymore. Can you both just stop, huh? Or I'll make you stand in separate corners, and this time I won't give in when you throw yourself to the floor and look up at me with big watery eyes, Sherwin. She started it. Did not. I said stop it! Zone out like me. Take my phone as an example. I'm reading what our illustrious congressman said last night. Do that. It'll give your brains a complete rest.
I'll take your phone as an example.
The ghosts are worried too. Excuse me while I go retrieve my phone. Just great! First the thunderstorm in our living room last night, and now this! I hope the neighbors didn't notice. The last thing we need is for anyone to think strange things are going on here and call the police to come investigate. Nobody panic! That can't be the police. They couldn't have gotten here that fast. Okay, but if that's the phone wanting back in... Must be Dr. Williams! Coming, Doctor! I'll get it, Myra. Oh, hello. Can I help you? Sherwin Davis, I'm Detective Murphy, and this is Officer Mueller, New York State Police. Police? How did you get here so fast? Everything's very ordinary here, nothing unusual to report. Thank you for your service. I shall now return to the very ordinary day I was having. Thank you, and goodbye. So we're investigating a case, and I have a few questions for you. May we come in? Investigating a case, and you have questions. For me? Well, I suppose I should be flattered. I'm fresh out of answers, though. Can you come back tomorrow? It's just that any minute now my wife and I are expecting. Oh, congratulations. Thank you.
No, we're expecting company. What's this about? I swear there wasn't a thunderstorm in our living room last night, if that's what the neighbors said. Not that they would have any reason to, because there weren't any thunderstorms. But in case they did. Of course they didn't. Did they? Mueller, we haven't received any reports about thunderstorms in living rooms, have we? Not this week. There you are, sir. But it is a bit chilly out here, Mr. Davis. We were hoping you could help us out. We won't take long. Where are my manners? But of course, please, come in. This is my wife, Myra, and Ophelia, our, housekeeper. Maid.
Housekeeper.
Our housekeeper/maid.
Personal assistant.
Our housekeeper/maid/personal assistant. Good afternoon. We have an arrest warrant for Dr. Alex Williams. Is that who you're expecting?
For
arrest
Dr.
warrant?
Williams?
No. So what was that you shouted right before you opened the door? What door? Why, this one right here. Right before you opened it, you shouted something? Oh, that door! You must excuse me, it's a quirk of mine. Some people shout at their TV, some people write in all caps. I shout to the door. Well, that explains everything, doesn't it? We all have our odd little eccentricities.
So true, Detective. I was just thinking how I often look at Sherwin as an odd little eccentric. I mean that in the best way.
In the best way? What way is that? Gosh, Sherwin sure makes the best odd little eccentric in these here parts, doesn't he?
Let's go with that one.
Certainly, Detective, you must have some oddities too, no? Pull the wife over and pat her down. Moving on. Well, it's been delightful chatting. Sorry you can't stay longer, but we understand. Duty calls. Have a good day and stay safe out there. Did someone fling his phone outside just now? This one almost bonked me on the crown. Uh-oh. Ixnay on the phone, Myra. The call log. It shows we called Williams. Why, no, that's not any of our phones. Is it, sweetheart?
I've never seen it before. I don't know whose phone that is. People are always losing things while walking by our house. Aren't they, dear?
Last week it was someone looking for their kitten. The week before that, a set of keys. I'm telling you, Detective, we're the Bermuda Triangle of Long Island. Don't be surprised if next week a plane's missing. You have information about a planned hijacking? No, I made a little joke. Bermuda Triangle, things go missing, like the phone. Whose is it? Such a question. Who knows? Many anonymous people pass by. It says Myra here in the settings. And you'd think one of them would have found Myra's phone. Look, Myra, Detective Murphy found your phone.
Oh, my phone! Did I tell you it was missing? Thank you so much for finding it. Well, missing phone case closed. You are one great detective solving that case, let me tell you. Thank you for stopping by to return it. Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
This last call you made a few minutes ago, who was it to?
Call? I didn't make a call. Darling, you can explain how Detective Murphy must be mistaken, can't you?
Of course I can. But why don't you explain? You're so good at it. There's always a logical explanation, right? Look, I know it's Williams' number. Okay, folks, we're here because the good doctor stole a rare antique clock from the Metropolitan Museum of Art this morning. Stole it? That's what I said. Well, the stole it part, not the ooh. So we got a search warrant for Williams' office and came here because we saw his appointment book and know he was here last night. So we had a few questions for you. But now, something about this phone tells me I ought to stick around to see who comes calling. Forgive the pun.
That was a good one, Percival.
Percival?
Mueller, you'll address me as Detective Murphy when we're on the job.
Sorry, Percival.
Oh, all right, Detective. Look, it's like this.
Dr. Williams is in a terrible predicament.
We're doomed to living in a well for eternity, and you think he's in a terrible predicament.
Yes, Rufus, if these Minutemen capture Dr. Williams when he gets here, they'll take the clock back to the museum before Master Sherwin has a chance to open the secret drawer. They will never be able to produce your letter from General Washington. We've got to warn Dr. Williams to keep away from the house.
You're right. There's no time to lose. Let's get out to the footpath now. Oh, I see. So you think the doctor must have stolen the clock to help the ghosts. Thank you for understanding, Detective. Well, that's what the world needs now, isn't it? A little more understanding. You expect me to believe a cockamamie ghost story? Okay, I know it's difficult to believe. Difficult? Try impossible. Or as the French say, impossible. How do they say it in German, Mueller? Unmöglich. That's how impossible it is. But it's true. Look, I can prove it to you. Ophelia, summon the spirits of Rufus Digby and Abigail Livingston.
Okie dokie. Anulos dos mirabes spiricata.
Ophelia, hold your horses. We'll be back soon.
Nimbus hypnosis.
Rufus!
Abigail!
All right. I've had enough of this malarkey.
Rufus! Abigail!
Why don't
Bata.
Why don't we all just make ourselves nice and comfortable, Mueller, shut the door. Williams could be here any second. Everyone sit down.
Now, folks, it's my turn to tell you a story. It's a story about a fellow named Dr. Alex Williams, who, on an otherwise bright and cheerful morning, decides he's going to avail himself to a mantel clock. Not any old mantel clock, mind you, but a one-of-a-kind antique that was made way back in the 1700s. And it just so happens that antique clock belongs to the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
And it just so happens said clock has an appraised value of $500,000.
That wasn't a very nice thing for him to do, was it? No, it wasn't. And so the museum and the state of New York requested if me and Officer Mueller here would be so kind as to retrieve the clock and bring it back to its rightful owner, which, when you think on it, is not such an unreasonable request, am I right? Oh, and that while we're at it, they would also like if we would round up William's accomplices, too. William's accomplices? He's got accomplices, as in more than one. Did you know that, Ophelia? More than one. Who are they, Detective?
Oh, just a second. Are you accusing us of being criminals?
I can plead insanity. I'll take a fifth.
Dr. Williams, stop! Don't go in the house!
You'll get arrested and they'll take the clock away.
And I don't want to spend eternity in a well. I want to move on up to that deluxe apartment in the sky.
Dr. Williams, no!
As Shakespeare said, to do a great right, do a little wrong. Uh-oh.
Mueller, grab him! Give me the clock, Williams! Get your hands off me, good sirs. I say, God knows where they've been! Showing! Here, grab the clock!
Got it!
Get out of the way, Doctor! Davis, stop where you are!
How does it go again, from 12 to 6?
Gotcha! I order you to stop wriggling!
Myra, here, take it! Hurry, take the clock!
Oh, no, you don't!
Got it!
Stop you!
Get out of my way, Mr. Davis!
Turn once to 9.
Twice!
Okay, twice, then twice to 9.
Ha! Got you now!
Damn it, Mueller, let her go! Get the wacko cuckoo! She's got the clock now!
Turn back to where the hands...
I got her, Detective. You hold still, you. You're not going anywhere.
All right, nobody move!
You had your fun. Now, if you would be so kind... The clock, please. How did you make the clock float over to the mantel like that? Now, Detective Murphy, don't be silly. You see you're standing right here next to me, but the clock is all the way over there across the room. So obviously it couldn't have been me who moved the clock. It's the ghosts. They have the clock now.
The ghost took the clock.
Yes, I know, Detective. I just told you that.
Look! Your most humble servant, George Washington. Abigail, here it is.
It's Rufus Digby's letter from George Washington.
Congratulations, we did it!
Yes, we did, didn't we? And now, Detective, the ghosts are holding up George Washington's letter to show us. I'll make sure to spell it out just like that prominently in the report. Then the ghost held up George Washington's letter to show us. Thanks. You've been a tremendous help.
Mueller, we'll tell the chief we found the clock and it was all a big misunderstanding. Otherwise, the department shrink's going to ask if we think we see ghosts. And what are you going to say?
Sure. Doesn't everybody?
They'll make us take a psych test. I don't want to take a psych test. I can barely pass a physical.
The curse is lifted. The spirits of Rufus Digby and Abigail Livingston are no longer bound to Davenport House. They're free.
Abigail, did you hear Ophelia? We're free.
Yes, Rufus, I heard her.
So, ladies first. After you.
All right.
Abigail, my beloved. At long last.
It's John. Goodbye, Rufus. I'll miss you. Pray remember me.
I'll never forget you. Farewell, Abigail.
Rufus!
Katie!
Rufus!
Here I am!
How are ya?
What?
I said, how are ya?
Oh, Katie, there was a mix-up and a curse and we were stuck at Davenport House and Ads Bodkins! You wouldn't believe the mess with the paperwork! I just needed an official letter from Washington. How complicated can that get?
Oh, Rufus, it's been a long time.
Katie, it's really you.
Pray tell, what is it like in heaven? I have no idea. I haven't been inside yet. I asked them if I could wait outside here for you.
You've been waiting outside of heaven for me.
It just wouldn't be heaven without you.